Desalinization is the process of removing salt from water to turn the water into fresh water for people to drink. As the world's population keeps increasing and as fresh water is scarce, people must find ways to obtain water that is safe to drink. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which produces 24 million cubic meters of desalinated water, is building the world's largest solar-powered desalinization plant in the city of Al Khafari near the Persian Gulf. As 90% of water desalinization plants in Saudi Arabia run on oil or natural gas as their energy source, this project is part of an effort to decrease the nation's reliance on oil. Saudi Arabia's population is expected to rise to 36.4 million in 2020, and as each Saudi consumes 300 liters of water per day, the demand for water might increase to 4 billion cubic meters by this time. Multi-stage flash distillation is the process used in the Shoaiba plant. Low-grade steam heats tubes within the distiller unit's brine heaters, which heats the seawater. The heated seawater then enters a vessel where it boils into steam. The steam condenses on heat exchanger tubes and is cooled by the incoming feed water flow to the brine heater. The intake water is heated, reducing the amount of thermal energy needed in the brine heater. Minerals are added to the product water, which is held in storage tanks before delivery. During the desalinization process, there are many costs to the environment. Marine life is heavily affected by the desalinization process due to the large intakes placed in the oceans to suck up water for the desalinization process. Millions of marine organisms are taken in with the water and killed during the process, and this is causing a depletion of biodiversity in the ocean. This process also requires the work of desalinization plants, which burn fossil fuels to power the process. The burning of fossil fuels is a source of global warming and can easily be avoided by collecting fresh water from aquifers and surface water. The brine that is collected by desalinization plants has to be discharged back into the ocean along with the chemicals the water picked up while being desalinated. The new desalinization plant will hopefully rectify some of these problems as it will run completely on solar power, not through the burning of fossil fuels. Desalinization does provide many advantages to our population. Being able to convert salt water into drinking water is a major advantage for us because most of the water on Earth is salt water. With this huge source of water, many more people, especially those in arid lands, will be able to have a source of water. Much more water will be available to people, and the water will be also safe to drink. Although Saudi Arabia started relying solely on imports of food in 2016, water is too valuable of a resource to only be imported. The new desalinization plant that will rely on purely solar power is viable as the climate there is a desert. The outcome of this project is positive economically, strategically, and somewhat environmentally. The outcome is positive economically because it will rely less on fossil fuels, which have to be mined and purchased at a constant rate, driving up the cost of making desalinized water. It will be positive strategically because fresh water will not be a bargaining chip in the future of negotiations in Saudi Arabia, and it will be most positive environmentally in the area of burning fossil fuels, because fossil fuels will not have to be used at a constant rate to purify water, which means less CO2 emissions. But as stated before, a negative outcome environmentally is that the ecosystem that the pump is in is disrupting the ocean wildlife. Another negative effect is that the brine is produced from this process. This brine will be released back into the ocean and drive up the salinity content. Saudi Arabia will have to live with the outcomes from this project, whether they are mostly positive or mostly negative in the future. Saudi Arabia does not have many other options for obtaining drinkable water in their area. The most obvious alternative to desalinization would be to import fresh water. Unfortunately, those plans are not politically or financially stable. Moreover, the pollution that would be associated with shipping water across the globe or laying pipe for thousands of miles would be enormous. This is why Saudi Arabia has built numerous desalinization plants. Their other problem with regarding to the plants is how to power them. Saudi Arabia is currently using its oil reserves to power almost all of its desalinization plants. That's why the construction of the plant near Al Khafari is so important. It is making use of one other form of power that Saudi Arabia can access in abundance: solar power. This would allow Saudi Arabia to sell its oil that would have gone to powering the plant, and it will decrease the massive environmental footprint associated with desalinization. In the past 2 years, the plan has been continuously worked on. In 2015, the Saudi Arabian Innovation Investment Agency made contact with some important companies for improvements in solar technology that will be used for the construction. The first of these companies Abengoa Solar was responsible for the creation of the world's largest concentrating solar power system. The second company, called Triarena. This Spanish company is likely going to help with energy efficiency and optimization for the plant. The desalination plant and its power source should be finished this year.